question asked you, and I want you to answer as honestly as you can. I want you to tell me what you think about smoking. I'm not talking about based on mainstream research. I'm just talking about your personal perception about smoking. What you think about it. Why do you hate it so much? Do you think it's good for you? When do you usually smoke? Do you usually smoke like after you eat, or you sleep, or before maybe when you take a dump?
Hi guys, welcome to SMYLZ Philosophy. I, of course, am the legendary SMYLZ Peep Gang. I was looking at one of my favorite YouTube personalities, Nina, ninjabeats, and I'm subscribed to her because I think she's fucking awesome. She seems to have trouble trying to figure out why cigarettes or smoking seems to be socially unaccepted, while sugar and other things that may cause harm seems to be socially accepted. And it's a lot of different answers to that, so I'm going to try to break each one down. First of all, let me explain to you my history with smoking. I only smoke on Mardi Gras because that's the only holiday I celebrate. And I'm from New Orleans. And in order to break down why I smoke on Mardi Gras, you really have to get into human behavior. Alright, I'm guilty of smoking. I smoked cigarettes before. I smoked flavored cigarettes, BDs. I have, what's this shit here? These new herbal innocent shit. It's a little cheap. Basically, it's bootleg weed. This is the blueberry flavor. And I'm not really a big smoker, and to be honest, I really do hate smoking. I hate the process of it. I hate the way it feels, but I do it on Mardi Gras. I don't like the taste. It gives me cotton mouth, and I don't like that feeling of cotton mouth, and I don't like the way my breath is after that. So I really hate smoking, but I do it on Mardi Gras to celebrate. Alright? So when I say I do it on Mardi Gras to celebrate, you have to get into human behavior. If you ever notice, and this is one of the reasons why you're so concerned with health and dieting, humans have a natural intrigue with our mortality. Being that we know that our time is limited on Earth, we tend to play around with our mortality, or like we're intrigued with it, we experiment with it. And most of the time, that's why we're always in shock and awe when we see people that do things that would otherwise cause death to you, like contortionists, people that can do weird things with their body, you know, circus acts, Cirque du Soleil, or people that are race car drivers, magicians, even artists that use controversial lyrics and themes in their songs that may make people mad at them and want to cause them harm and beat them up. We're intrigued with people that face death. Harry Houdini, for instance. You know, we love them. We want to see it because they do what we want to do. And that's take our body or our minds to the edge of our mortality, to where you're almost there at death, adrenaline junkies or whatever. You're facing your death, in other words. We are facing our mortality. And we're intrigued with things that make us face our mortality. Because in other words, we wouldn't do it ourselves, so we're intrigued with other people that do it. Having said that, the only time we face our mortalities or play with our mortalities or experiment with our mortalities is at a high point in our lives as humans. So when we celebrate, we're at a high point in our life. That makes us brave enough to experiment with our mortality. Every time you're in a high point in your life and you celebrate it, you always celebrate by doing something that's harmful to yourself. You know, when you have a baby for the first time, the tradition is to pass out cigars. You know, it's a boy and it's a girl on the cigars, knowing cigars will harm you. You know, every time you feel like if you got a promotion or a raise, fuck it, I'm going to get something with bacon in it because bacon harms you. You always celebrate by doing something that you know is harmful. You know, if your team wins the Super Bowl or the FIFA Cup, you drink a beer. You know, you do something that you know harms you every time you celebrate, because that's the only time we're brave enough to experiment with our mortality. When you meet people, you know, especially with guys, they chest bump each other, they punch each other in the shoulder, they play these little games that cause pain, that cause slight harm, because that's their way of experimenting with their mortality. That's why I celebrate on Mardi Gras by smoking. That's my way of experimenting with my mortality. That's the psychological reason why we do that, if you didn't know. Now, what does that have to do with sugar being accepted and cigarettes not being accepted? Okay, I say that because the fact that cigarettes are known to be harmful, are known to cause death, and as long as they advertise it, As long as they advertise it that way, it would always be a taboo. And Eric Bischoff wrote a book called Controversy Creates Cash. As long as there's these truth commercials that give you the harmful, Surgeon's General warning, that give you these harmful statistics about cigarettes and secondhand smoke, it's always going to have intrigue in the buyer's mind. Believe it or not, it's an anti-marketing scheme. The cigarette companies actually want you to demonize cigarettes because that's where the cash comes from. They tell you all the ingredients about it. It has formaldehyde and poison and nicotine and all these harmful ingredients. The cigarette companies actually like that. They want you to demonize cigarettes and make it seem like the death stick or something that's the word, because we're intrigued by death. So as long as the cigarette companies have that taboo, and it's free advertising because they're not paying for it. These are other people that demonize cigarettes that's doing it for them. The cigarette companies actually like it. And you never know, the cigarette companies may know that sugar is actually more harmful or whatever, but by saying that, they got competition now. By making cigarettes more acceptable, they lose more money. Take the prohibition for example. When alcohol was outlawed, there was a boom in alcohol sales because it's a taboo now. People are intrigued with things that are taboo. And as long as cigarettes remain demonized, and as long as cigarettes remain harmful, there's always going to be that spark of intrigue that's going to cause curiosity. It's going to cause, it's going to cause that taboo and make people want to do it. Make them rebel. Make them go against the system. Make them see what's the big deal. And then, after they experiment, that's when the addiction comes in. And addiction sets itself up. It's a two-step process. Make them curious about it, and now they're addicted to it. So either way, it's all about money in that instance, Now, why is it, alright, first of all, it's the advertising of cigarettes that make it, how much time I got? I'm going to finish why sugar is more accepted than cigarettes in my next video, but hopefully that made sense just now, but I have more to come. Be patient with me. I'm going to break it down.